Hello, welcome back. My name's Tom Rowlands, your host for the day, and you're listening to the FoodAffects podcast. This is where you and me get the top insights and top knowledge from the top experts on topics such as nutrition, health and well-being, and how food affects your body. Let's get straight into it. I'll just have you introduce yourself to the audience, please, Corrine.
Okay, so my name is Corrine Carthy. I'm originally from France, but I'm based in Dublin. I am a nutritional therapist, and I also trained as a fasting coach in France with the School of Naturopathy in Paris. And I run detox retreats through extended fast, and I also coach intermittent fasting online. Okay. And I do all that through my company, which is called The Fast Way to Detox.
Yeah, right. So we'll go straight into the first question. So where did your passion for nutrition come from, Corrine?
So as I said, I'm originally from France. So I grew up, both my parents were very good cooks. They introduced us to every food imaginable, from organ meats to vegetables that I can't even find nowadays. So I always kind of ate well and ate kind of very varied food. And then I met my husband, and we had 4 children, 4 boys who ate a lot. Yeah. And so I had to kind of step in, start cooking and innovating, because I couldn't give them the same thing over and over. So I discovered my passion for cooking. And then I got to a stage in my life around, I'd say mid-40s, where I kind of had a bit of a nervous breakdown and I needed some space. I was a very busy mom, as you can imagine, with 4 boys. And so I decided to go and do a retreat, just a detox retreat up in the north of Ireland. And I learned a lot. I was able to rest, and the food was made for me. And I discovered a lot of salads and soups, but really nourishing dishes. And I kind of decided then, this is what I want to do. I want to learn more about foods and their benefits.
Yeah.
So I came back, and then I decided to join the Institute of Nutritional Therapy in Bray in Dublin, and I did a 4-year diploma in nutrition.
And so that detox retreat, was it a fasting retreat or just?
No, it wasn't a fasting retreat. It was just soups and salads and a lot of mindfulness, a lot of walking in silence, and a lot of kind of coming back to yourself and kind of, thinking about what you were going to be. Well, for me, it was like deciding what I was going to do with my life as a mom, but also as a career-wise. Excuse me. And it wasn't until the next year that I had raved about this retreat with my sister, that she decided to do something like that. So she rang me one day and just said, "Oh, I'm going to do a fast in France for a week. Would you join me?" And at the time, I hadn't started my nutrition course, and I just thought, "You're mad. There's no way we can stay a week without eating. We're going to die." And she said, "Oh, no. Those people have been doing this for 20 years, and they're full. Like, there's 2 places left." So I said to her, "Okay, I'll come along." And to be honest, it was the best experience of my life. I mean, I was mad. I was so surprised that A, I wasn't eating all day, and B, I could hike in the mountains for 12K every single day. And I had energy, and I had clear mind, and it was unbelievable. So from then I came back, did the nutrition, and then decided I've got to bring this concept to Ireland, because ever since, that's nearly 12 years now, every year I go and do my fast in France, my 7-day fast in a retreat center. And so just before COVID in 2018, I went to the School of Naturopathy in France, and I trained as a coach and a fasting coach with, as I said, with the School of Naturopathy. And I've started the retreats in 2019, and then COVID hit. When it was just starting to peak, I had a full house, I had a waiting list. And anyway, COVID hit, and obviously we weren't allowed to do anything, and particularly not to, gather groups. And so I started again in just at the end of COVID, and I'm back on track. The last retreat in April was full, and lots of positive feedbacks, and people are happy.
That's great. Yeah. And now, can you tell me a bit about the effects? I know you've said that it gives you the clear mind and all that. Can you tell me a bit more of kind of like the physical effects and the benefits of fasting, please?
So first, I need to clarify that I do not do therapeutic fast. Therapeutic fast are for people that are sick, and they need to be medically supervised. They have to go to special clinics. There are clinics. There's none in Ireland, obviously, because it's only just starting to take off. But there's some in France, in Germany, in Switzerland. Like people might have heard of the Bushinger method, or the Bushinger clinic in Marbella and in Germany. So I don't do those. I do wellness fasts, which means people have to be in good health.
Okay.
As a baseline. So it's more for detoxification, for giving the body a rest, the digestive system a rest. Once you start giving your digestive system a rest, you give a rest to the what we call the associated organs. So your pancreas, your liver, your kidneys, everything has a chance to repair, if you want, and also cleanse.
Yeah. And flush out all toxins and all the rest.
Exactly. So the way we do the prolonged fast is we prepare. So people come to us for a week in the retreat, but they prepare for a week before. So they start cutting out all, cleaning up their diet. They start cutting out all the, what we call the stimulants, so coffee, alcohol. If they're smokers, we get them to cut down. And then, progressively the week before, they cut out the animal protein, then they cut out the plant protein. So by the time they're coming to us, they're pretty already started their detoxification. They're on fruit and vegetables. And then they come into us, and there they get an organic juice, freshly juiced every morning. And we use different juices for different. So we might do some, for cleaning the kidneys. We might do some for detoxificating the digestive system. If people have a little bit of high blood pressure, we might give them some beetroot juice. So we cater for the people that are there. And I do this with a nurse. So she's there. Everybody's minded. She takes the blood pressure. She takes the blood sugar. She takes all the vitals before, during, and after, at the end of the fast. And then during the day, they have herbal teas. Again, different herbal teas. Could be dandelion, could be cacao husk. It could be, different things for different areas of the body. And then on the last day, we do a re-eating. I do a cooking demo. We have a re-eating meal, so they go home with recipes and vegetarian meals. And then they get a guide again for the week after that to how to refeed and reintroduce food slowly, because you can't just go on a full fast with no preparation at all.
Yeah.
Now, an intermittent fast is completely different. You don't have to prepare because you're still eating every day. But I'm just wanted to clarify that the prolonged fast, the ones we do anyway, are for wellness. And also, obviously, during the retreat, we do all sorts of other things. We go, we do nature walks, we do yoga, we have the spa, so people have access to the full spa. We do meditation, we have a nutrition talk every evening. So it's a complete package. So by the time they go home, they're educated, they're rested. We have a therapist that come and gives massages. So, it's a pampering week, if you want.
Yeah. And I'm sure some would say it wasn't because you don't get any food. But tell me more. So they only get one juice in the morning, or is there no food at all? Or
Nope. So there's no juice. There's no food. They get a juice in the morning. They get herbal teas during the day, and then at night they get a vegetable broth. So, as I said, the idea of the juice is first detoxification of all the organs, but it's also to bring them vitamins and minerals. And then so is the broth at night. So the broth will be a vegetable broth, again, organic, and they get all their minerals there. And then they can get, if they're feeling a little bit unwell during the day, which usually only happens between day 2 and day 3, when they stop burning glucose and they start kicking into their fatty tissues and producing ketone bodies. They can feel a little bit weak, and we have we have keto salts, we have essential oils, we have all sorts of tricks in the bag if you want to make them feel better. But people are well aware that there are signs of detoxification, so they're all normal. And as I said, we have the nurse to monitor everything.
all right. And then the herbal teas, is there a reason why they're herbal, or like just herbal?
Yeah, because we're trying to detoxify, so we don't want black tea with theine and caffeine, and we want plants. We want plants that help with supporting the liver, supporting the kidneys, cleansing the lining of the gut, the gut lining and things like that. So there's, different choices. If they have a headache, we have, different teas for that. So yes, they're specific for detoxification.
Yeah. So the herbal teas, as you say, if they have a headache, would the herbal teas like cure the headache or help the headache?
It would help. What we make sure is usually the headache is due to dehydration. So we make sure that they drink a minimum of 2 liters of water a day on top of the juice, the herbal teas, and the water. So they need to be really well hydrated. Not only to flush the toxins, but also to prevent dehydration.
So the actual drinking of liquids helps flush out toxins?
Yes.
And how does that work?
Well, because if you're releasing toxin into your digestive tract, into your bloodstream, into your lymph, it needs to go somewhere. So unless you're detoxing and you're flushing them out, they're going to stay in circulation.
Okay, so that makes sense.
So obviously, you're going to pee more, during your fast if you drink the right amount of water, and that's all normal.
Yeah. And so, can you tell me, do you feel hungry during the fast on these detoxing?
So everybody's different. Everybody's body is different. Everybody respond to the fast differently. Some people, I had in the last fast, I had people, we did a 6-day fast, and they said they could have easily continued another 2 or 3 days. They didn't feel hungry. They actually felt really well, really sharp. So again, it depends. Everybody, as I said, everybody's different. So
yeah. And why would that be? Like, why wouldn't you feel hungry? Because how I think of it, you're not getting food, so you must be hungry. But
no, I think a lot of people have forgotten what hunger is. We now, everything is available. It's in the fridge. It's on your desk. It's in your bag. It's in the shops. You go for petrol, and it's in your face when you go to pay. And people have forgotten to listen to their hunger as opposed to their cravings. And when you're in an environment where everybody is kind of in the same boat, you might feel hungry a little bit at the beginning, but once you've kicked into burning your ketone bodies, the body has everything inside it to provide. So hunger is just in the head, and it's the body can find the nutrients in the body, within itself, if you let it.
Okay.
It's going to have it's going to make the glucose that you need for energy, and it's going to break down the fatty tissues and make the ketone bodies, to thrive. And obviously, we don't take people that are anorexic or underweight, there's a whole list of contraindication of people that we don't take. But if, most people have plenty to spare for a few days. If you think about it, a human body, a person who is, in good health of about 70 kilos can physically fast for about 40 days. We do 6 days, so it's nothing.
And after a fast, would you be expected to lose weight, or?
So some people do, some people don't. It depends. Again, the body is quite smart and intelligent. If you need to lose the weight, you will lose it if you do it the right way, if you follow the instruction, if you detoxify. People that tend to go on a diet where they reduce their calories, when they start eating again, they put it all back on because they haven't detoxified. All they did was cut down on the amount of food that they were eating. The way we do it, we detoxify. So, because the body has this kind of way where it retains fatty tissues to store the toxins. So if you don't detoxify, when you do lose the weight and you break down your fatty tissues, your toxins are released into the circulation. Once you start eating again, the body thinks, my goodness, I haven't cleared all those toxins. I need to put them out of harm's way again, and it will store it back into your fatty tissues, which means it will automatically build up more fatty tissues to store those toxins. So when people detoxify, it's easier to lose weight once you've detoxified, much easier than people that are overweight and they reduce their calories, they lose the weight, but they gain it back straight away, pretty much straight away. And sometimes they gain more after the diet.
That is because they haven't detoxified.
Exactly.
So if you were to go on a fasting retreat, go on one of your fasting retreats, and then start a diet, would you be more successful in losing weight?
I believe you would. Let's put it that way. I struggled with my weight after my 4 pregnancies for, I'd say 15, 20 years. I was 20 kilos overweight, and I would have tried every diet on the planet, between the protein sachets, the cutting down calories, trying all the, things that you can find on the internet, with no success. I would lose the weight, I would get it back, I would get it back. I've been fasting for 12 years now, and I am on a steady same weight after losing the 20 kilos, and it hasn't budged in 12 years.
And you believe that's down to the fasting?
I do believe that it's the fact that I try and detoxify as much as I can. I do at least one fast a year, but in the meantime, I also eat clean food, and I think that's very important as well. Now, I would have the odd takeaway here and there on family, with the kids or whatever in front of a movie, but generally I cook every meal myself. I don't buy prepared meals. I don't buy, kind of pre-packed or whatever. I read the labels in the shops. I make sure I look at what I buy and what I put in my body. It's no point cleaning it if you're going to give it rubbish.
All like natural, whole, unprocessed foods.
Yep. I try and buy organic as much as I can. And, as I said, I cook everything myself. I've even, made my own margarine if you want, because, when the boys complain that the butter doesn't, the hard butter doesn't spread on their toast.
Yeah.
So, and I love cooking. So, obviously I understand, it's for convenience, because not everybody has time to spend half an hour in the kitchen every day. particularly if they're working outside and they have young kids and everything. But as much as I can, I try and cook healthy and natural whole food.
Yeah. And so back to you, you're saying that you try to do at least one fasting retreat each year. Like, could you do more than that, or is like there a maximum?
Some people do more, but they might be really overweight or whatever. I don't need to, because I know my body. I think once a year is fine. But in the meantime, I do intermittent fasting.
Okay.
So the rest of the year, I would do a 16-8. So I would fast for 16 hours and have 2 meals within 8 hours. And a lot of the time, I also do 1 meal a day. Like at the moment, I'm just doing 1 meal a day.
Okay.
So I'd have a good meal. I'd have, starter, main meal, dessert. I can have my chocolate if I want. I can have my glass of wine if I want. But the rest of the time I fast. So I'll just have water, herbal teas. I might have coffee with that, milk. If I want to stay in ketosis, if I'm not worried about it, then I can put a bit of milk in my tea or coffee. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
So you do the fasting retreats, but then after them, the detoxing retreats, and then after them, you're doing intermittent fasting all the time.
I do, yeah. I personally do, yes.
And what are the benefits to doing that then?
I don't feel hungry first thing in the morning. I don't feel hungry. I don't know. I don't believe that we're supposed to be eating. I mean, I had people on the weekend. I had family over, so I would make an effort and sit down with them lunch and dinner. So I was doing 16-8 then. I was eating lunch and dinner with them, but I wasn't eating breakfast because I don't feel hungry. I don't feel like it. If I do have breakfast, then I would make sure I don't break it with carbohydrates, which is, in France, you'd have your croissants and your baguette and your bread and your jam and that's the worst thing to do after your night fast, because then you're on the blood sugar roller coaster for the rest of the day. And that's when you get your cravings and you want to graze all day. So if I were to have breakfast, I'd try and have a little bit of protein. I'd have fiber, lots of fiber. And then I might have healthy fat. So I might give you an example. I'd have a spinach omelette with half an avocado, for example.
That pretty much wraps it up for part 1. And remember to follow all the social medias that are linked in the bio to get notified when part 2 goes live. In part 2, we'll be talking about the ionization of fruit and vegetables, the blood sugar roller coaster, salt and sugar consumption, and many more topics. Hope to see you there.